We just got one of the craziest Apple leaks of all time that confirms new products are almost here. So today I want to show you everything Apple's planning to announce in just a few days at their October event, as they've been prepping a few final products to release before the end of 2024. And we know some of these are going to be launching actually on Friday, November 1st. This comes according to a report from sources saying that Apple is getting ready to launch a few things soon. And if that's not enough for you, well, let me just show you the new M4 MacBook Pro. And yes, all of this is confirmed to be real. I don't even know where to start with this one. A Russian YouTuber out of the blue posted a video just showing a full-on unboxing of the M4 MacBook Pro, which, just so we're all on the same page, is an Apple product that hasn't been announced yet. It is not a real thing currently. We have not seen a leak like this since 2010, when someone left the unreleased iPhone 4 at a bar and a reporter stumbled across it, giving a full early look at the iPhone 4 before Apple revealed it themselves. Somehow 14 years later, a similar leak has happened with these M4 MacBook Pros, except this time a number of people have gotten their hands on it early. So let me show you the 4 big changes that we can see. First, while the packaging is incredibly similar to last year, with Apple even recycling the same wallpaper from the M3 series, as soon as you flip over the box, you can see this is a new version of a base MacBook Pro with the M4 chip confirmed. Next to that, we can see the second big change. Probably the biggest upgrade for the M4 generation is that Apple is finally increasing the default base amount of RAM on their cheapest models. For years, it's been stuck at 8 GB, and to upgrade it cost a couple $100s, but now on all new MacBooks at the lowest end, you are getting 16 GB of RAM, which is going to be so nice and save a ton of people a ton of money every year. So happy Apple is changing this. Actually opening up the box and getting to what's inside, you can see the third change as we remove the M4 MacBook Pro from the paper. Apple is now offering it in a new color option. They have completely gotten rid of space gray, and space black is now available on the cheapest MacBook Pro too. Now, to be clear, space black isn't a new color. It was offered on the M3 MacBook Pros last year, but you had to buy the more expensive Pro or Max series chip. Now space black is on the cheapest M4. And that's not the only thing Apple brought down to this base model, as there is now also the third additional USB-C Thunderbolt 4 port on here as well, bringing you additional connectivity to the other side of this laptop, which, adding all of this together, is going to make the cheapest $1,600 MacBook Pro just a way better value than it is currently. But again, how do we actually know that this is coming soon and not a leak for sometime in spring or summer of next year? Well, it's because when you go to the About My Mac section on the M4 MacBook Pro, it says it's a November 2024 model. So I don't use the term 100% confirmed lightly, but I mean, this is 100% confirmed for November release and likely an October announcement. And of course, all of these MacBook Pros will still run on battery, so to charge them up, that's why I partnered up with Ugreen, who sponsored today's video, to show you their new fun and fast charging accessories for your new iPhone. This is Ugreen's Uno Charger 100 watch, which has a super unique aesthetic here, looking just like a robot, and also a cool display on the front that will show you different charging statuses through emojis. Plus, you've got all the USB ports on here that you'd want. There's 3 USB-C and 1 USB-A, and with 100 watts of power output through the C1 or C2 ports, it is perfect for charging your MacBook Pro. Or you can charge an iPhone 16 from 0 to 57% in just 30 minutes. But my favorite use for this is by charging up 4 devices at the same time. Now, additionally, Ugreen makes some other Uno products too, like their 2-in-1 magnetic wireless charging station for the iPhone, the 6-in-1 USB-C hub for your MacBook, or all of the great Uno cables for the fastest charging speeds across your devices. And right now, when you use my link down below in the description, you can pick up all of this stuff for yourself. Okay, thank you to Ugreen for sponsoring this one. Now, let's get back to it. Now, following the M4 MacBook Pro, we haven't even talked about the biggest new product coming at Apple's October event, and that is a completely redesigned version of the Mac Mini. Apple is reconstructing this computer from the ground up, and it is going to look unlike any Mac Mini before. While it's still going to be made out of aluminum, Apple is dramatically decreasing the size and the space it takes up, making it much closer in a form factor to an Apple TV than the current Mac Mini. It sounds like it's just going to be a taller version, or essentially a miniaturized version of the Mac Studio desktop. Like the Mac Studio, the new Mac Mini is getting a couple of USB-C ports on the back, and they're completely getting rid of USB-A when they replace them with 3 USB-Cs on the rear, as well as the other ports like HDMI, power, Ethernet, all of that is staying. Essentially, this new Mac Mini has been described as the M4 iPad Pro in a super tiny box, so Apple's taking all of those components and packing it into this redesigned form factor that is going to look way better than the current version. Which, by the way, the current design hasn't been updated in 14 years since 2010, and I just think it's coincidental that's the same time as the iPhone 4 leak at the bar, and I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but things are starting to line up, hear me out. We're also hearing that Apple will offer this in an M4 Pro chip variant too, so it's gonna be a really powerful machine in a super tiny square, and I just cannot wait to see what this thing looks like. This is the main reason I believe there's going to be an event for this redesign. Alongside this, I am personally really hoping we see a new Apple Studio display with 120Hz or an updated Pro Display XDR with crazy colors and accuracy, but there's no rumors that new monitors are coming anytime soon, so at this point, just sounds like it's gonna be the desktop computer with their current display lineup, which doesn't make that much sense. Following that, there is one more Mac coming at this October event, and that is a spec bump update for the iMac 24-inch. This is the super colorful model that Apple unveiled back in 2021, and for the second time in a row, they're not going to be changing much with the design or the features. From what we're hearing, they're just throwing the M4 chip on the inside. Pretty simple and straightforward update, but I am hoping 3 years in that we get some new colors with this iMac, or like something that looks visually different, because at this point, it's been around for a while, and I think it could at minimum use a fresh coat of paint in addition to getting a little bit quicker. But that's not actually the change that I'm excited for. It is one that is long overdue, that is criminally late, and that I was mad about a year ago when they released the M3 iMac 24-inch. And that's Apple transitioning the Magic Mouse, the Magic Keyboard, and the Magic Trackpad to USB-C. For some reason, since the beginning, these accessories have always had a Lightning port on them, and you have to think, that doesn't make a lot of sense considering that a Mac has never had a Lightning port, so why would we put a Lightning port on the accessories? Like from the beginning, it always should have been a USB, but it hasn't. But guess what? Apple's out of time. There's no more excuses that they can have because, well, starting on December 28th, 2024, they're legally obligated to change it. That's because the European Union's USB-C mandate law officially goes into effect just before the end of this calendar year. So if Apple wants to sell mouses, trackpads, keyboards in the EU new, they have to have USB-C. They cannot have Lightning. Listen, I know it's silly to be this excited for accessories to get a USB-C port on them, but you have to realize that these are the only reason I am keeping a Lightning cable in my home. Once these have USB-C, I don't need Lightning on any product. Every Apple thing I use has USB-C, and the transition will be complete. Finally. So those are the new Macs that we're getting. And initially we heard that there would be other products at this event too. The updated iPad mini that was rumored, as well as a new version of the base iPad. But out of the blue, Apple updated the iPad mini through a press release. It's got the A17 Pro chip inside to support Apple Intelligence, and it's basically just a spec bump update, except they made the colors like so much worse. I don't know how you make the colors even less saturated. That's crazy. But with Apple announcing the iPad mini ahead of this event, it basically sets the stage for these M4 Macs. Now listen, I know there's a lot of you super skeptical that there's going to be an Apple event, but out of the blue, we got that October 30th event last year with only 2 new Macs coming. This year, we're going to be getting 3. So I think there is more than enough for a quick 30-minute event this time around. Okay, I'm gonna keep you updated as we hear more. We're got stuff coming. That's how I'm gonna end the video. I've been Sam, hope you're doing well. I'll catch you in the next one, bye-bye.